Hi everyone! I thought it would be fun this afternoon to come on and do a little crafting with Sale-a-bration products for you. It has been a long time since I've done a Facebook Live, but I have the space and the time to do it today. So I thought I would share with you some cards that I am doing for my in-person class next week. Now, if you are coming to that class, then you might want to save this video for later if you don't want a sneak peek of what we're going to do. That class is the one class I do in person every month, and I always offer it online too. This month it is pretty much full for in person, so this is going to show you what you can get if you place an order this week. You can get this class sent to you in the mail. So these are the 4 cards, and I've used Sale-a-bration products on all of them because it's Sale-a-bration right now, and you've seen me posting this week. One of the products already sold out. So if you like some of these things you see today, don't wait. Get your favorites right away so you don't miss them. But these cards are really all about the designer series paper too. We have so many pretty papers. And for this class, I try to keep the stamping to mostly sentiments so that when you get your card kit, you can put any sentiment you want on there and use stamps you already have. That way you can get your card kit and you don't have to worry about having exactly what I used. So I'll give you some ideas for that along the way too. We're going to start with this card. This one uses the Sale-a-bration product, the Rings of Love designer series paper, and I think this is my favorite piece. The colors are just so pretty, and you can use it for any occasion really. But there's a lot of like fall colors in this paper, I think, and it coordinates with a suite or a bundle in the holiday catalog, which I don't have yet. So I might use that next month. But for this month, I just use the paper, and it's so pretty. So when you place an order of more than $40 now through next Wednesday, using my host code, which I'll post after I'm done with the video, you will get the supplies to make these 4 cards I'm sharing today, and I will send those to you. And then if you spend more than $50, of course, you can choose a Sale-a-bration reward too. And then when I send you the card kit in the mail, your cards will come like this. So everything you need for each card is in its own envelope, all split up for you. And then you just have to do the stamping. Oh, I should show you the paper I'm using on this one. That's why I have this here, right? Let's find that page. Here we go. So this is the paper I'm using, the Rings of Love, and you can really even hardly see the sheet that I'm using on the card, but it's really pretty, and you can see lots of fall, winter colors in here. This pattern is really nice for Christmas, and this shows you a little bit of the bundle that it coordinates with in here. It's one of our hybrid embossing folders, so it embosses these tree rings and then also has a die that you can put in the embossing folder and cut them out, so that is really cool. And some neat sentiments in that one too, so make sure you check that out. And it has a page number in our holiday catalog, the Ringed with Nature bundle, that you can look up. So like I said, I try and keep these cards pretty simple with just sentiments, and the paper really does all the work because it's so pretty. So here's a close-up of that. And I've seen some really cool things done with this. People have cut out parts of this, so you could cut out the whole thing to make a larger medallion, or you could cut out, you know, around one of the smaller parts to make it a smaller medallion. Really neat. We have a pool party card base, and we're just going to attach our paper. Here you can see the other side. I think this print is great if you're doing like welcoming new neighbors or something. Those houses are really great for that. So we'll adhere that on there. And then I have a piece of vellum just to kind of soften it up a little bit. Now you can see your adhesive through the vellum, so I'm only going to put adhesive in this area where I'm going to cover it up so it doesn't show through. And I knew I was going to run out of this right away, so some of you who know me are going to laugh because I'm all out of refills of that. I'm waiting on more to come, so I'm going to have to use green glue and some of you who know me well know that the green glue's not my favorite, but it works, and some people really like it, so there you go. Okay, so I've got my vellum down, and this label is cut from our seasonal labels dies, which went with some Christmas stamps last year. They're still in our annual catalog, but it has a couple really good labels in that set. And then our stamp is from the Good Feelings stamp set, which has lots of large sentiments. It's a really good sentiment set. So hopefully this has given you some ideas too of what you can add to your order to get to that $50 or $100 or whatever you need to get your Sale-a-bration rewards. And we're using Evening Evergreen ink. I just got this stamp set and I had to use it right away. It's been on my wish list for a while. Here we go. Close the ink back up so we don't have an accident, right? Okay, and then this is our Pool Party sheer ribbon, which works really well with the colors in this paper. And I'm just going to fold it a little bit so it'll lay behind that label. And you can put a little glue down, or normally I'd use the Stampin' Seal Plus to kind of hold the ribbon in place. But mostly what holds it in place is we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this label, and that'll hold it down really well too. There we go. So you're just going to put that over the ribbon and kind of center it. Guess I didn't center my ribbon very much. Ooh, we'll slide him over. You can kind of arrange it under there like that. Okay, and then the finishing touch is some of our in color opal rounds. So we're going to use the Evening Evergreen, or the soft succulent would work too. Maybe I'll use the soft succulent this time. You can find both colors in this designer series paper, so either one really would work. And I recommend using your take your pick tool, but I forgot to bring mine in here today, so we'll just use our good old paper snips. Ooh, I almost like the soft succulent better. What do you think? Comment and tell me what you like better, soft succulent or Evening Evergreen. I'm almost voting for the soft succulent, but they both work. So if you order the card packet, you may get either one, because as you can see, there's only so many of the evergreen, and they'll go a little farther if I use both colors when I'm making up my card kits. So comment and tell me, which one do you like better? So that's that card, and it is pretty easy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see your comments, but I will look at them later. Okay, on to our second card. Now this one, I am using a stamp set that you can get for free with a $100 purchase. The paper was free with $50. This one is a really large stamp set, so it's free with $100, and it's all sentiments, and they can mix and match. So I haven't gone through yet to count how many different sayings you could put together, but it's quite a few. So the fonts are kind of fun. At first, I was going to use the Woohoo You Did It, but then when I put it on this paper, I thought this paper is a little too elegant for this kind of loud woohoo. So I changed and just did the You Did It. I think this font works well with a more elegant paper, but these are kind of more fun for more bright paper. So that was how I decided to go with that. And this is our Awash in Beauty Designer Series paper, which has a whole suite of products that you could order to go along with it. This time we have a balmy blue card base, and I'm always taking my colors out of the designer series paper. If you didn't know, let me find the page in here that this one's on. If you didn't know, our designer series paper always has a list of coordinating colors, and I use those to help me decide which cardstock to use. Let's see if we can find it here. Should have marked my pages. Okay, so here is this one. So you can find this listed in a couple different places. All of the coordinating colors are listed right here on the page with the designer series paper. If you kind of want a visual of that, let's see. You can go to the page where the suite is in the catalog, and it shows you right here the coordinating colors. So that's more of a visual picture for you. And then if you're in the online store, I believe it also lists the colors in the description. So that'll help you know which cardstocks to pick, or you can look for ribbons or embellishments that come in those colors, and then you have your perfect coordination. So that's where I got the Balmy Blue from, and then this color is Merry Merlot, which I don't use that often, but it's kind of a really pretty rich color. And it's perfect for Christmas crafting too, which, I don't know, are you starting to think about Christmas crafting? If you've been around here very long, you know that I'm always thinking about Christmas crafting. Right, but, okay. So we'll use, oops, I almost forgot. Good thing I didn't tack that down yet. Got too busy talking. Got to put our ribbon on. So this is a new ribbon from our holiday catalog. It goes with that gnome suite. And this one, it has the Balmy Blue in it again, so that was the reason I picked it. And then the white. And one thing to note about this is that it is, the blue's only on one side. So that was one of the reasons why I chose to do it this way and just put a band across. And we'll just kind of tack that on the glue there. Good, normally I would use my Stampin' Seal Plus and just make a little line there, but I am plumb out of Stampin' Seal Plus. So we will just have to do it this way. Stick that down like this. The nice part about the green glue is that you have a little wiggle room. That's not quite as tight as I would like, but it will work for now. Okay, and then this one, I cut this from our beautiful Shapes dies. This is a die set that is in our annual catalog. Excuse me. And let's see if we can find it in here. Okay, down here is our beautiful Shape die set. It coordinates with a few stamp sets in the catalog too, but there's lots of shapes, and it's even hard to tell in here that this has the little embossing on it. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit different than some of our other dies, so that's kind of fun. So this again is from our Amazing Phrases stamp set, and we'll use our Balmy Blue ink and stamp the "You Did It." I think a lot of the sayings would fit in here, so if you happen to get the stamp set and you want to use a different one, I think other ones would fit in there too. And so like I said, with my simple card class, I try to keep it to mostly just sentiments for the stamping. So you can substitute any sentiment you have that you want that will fit in there. And I'll send you all the paper pieces, the ribbons, the embellishments and everything, this little die cut piece. And then you're just assembling and doing the stamping. So you'll need your adhesives and your ink. And say you didn't have Balmy Blue ink, you could pick out one of the other colors in here and that would work just fine. So now I'm going to take a piece of white baker's twine and we'll put it through here and try not to pull the ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a little bow. I don't know if you can hear that. My daughter's knocking on the door. She must have gotten sick of the show that the rest of the siblings were watching. Okay, so there is our bow, and then we're going to finish this one off with some of our iridescent pearls. So these are part of the same suite that paper comes from. And they're just a little bit more shimmery than our regular pearls. They kind of have that iridescent glow to them. That's why they're called iridescent pearls, right? And I'm just going to add a few of those onto my card. Oops, I lost that one. There we go. So there's that one. Pretty easy, right? Easy but beautiful. The paper really does make the card on these this time. All the papers are so beautiful. I don't know. I have lots and lots of designer series paper. If you are a paper crafter, you probably are the same way. All right, let me grab my next bucket. And let's see here. This is the one we'll do next. So this one, the paper is free with a $100 set. And I don't think I stuck the stamp set in here. So let's take a look in my catalog. Let's see where I set that. Right here. So this one is kind of fun. It's a bundle for free when you spend $100. You get this stamp set, and then it's a 12 by 12 pack of designer series paper. Really pretty colors. I did not use a stamp set on this card. I used a different stamp set. But obviously you're going to have to buy things to get your $100 to get it for free. So I thought that this Happiness Abounds bundle is a really good one. It has some really nice sentiments that would work nicely with the paper. And it also has some floral images and leaves and things that you could use that would kind of go along with it too. So that would be one thing you could buy to get to your $100. This card is super simple, but the paper is really pretty. And we're using one of our new in colors, Starry Sky, which is my favorite in color. So I have a thick basic white card base. If you didn't know, we have two cardstocks that are a little bit heavier. We have vanilla and white, and they work great for card bases because they're a little bit sturdier, or if you're doing like a box or something 3D. So I'm going to glue my designer series paper onto a Starry Sky base. And then before I attach that, I have some of our Starry Sky metallic woven ribbon. Shiny and pretty. This is our new in color ribbon this year. It comes in all 5 of the new in colors. And I think I have already used up my roll of just about every color. The Starry Sky is my favorite, but all the other colors are really great too. And it is perfect ribbon for tying bows because it's really light and it won't bulk up your card. Now I'm not going to be able to tie a bow while I talk. Do you have that trouble too? Got to stop talking and concentrate on what you're doing? Maybe. And my fingers are getting a little gluey. That's the other problem. Okay, there we go. All right, then we can glue this piece down. All right. She's really persistent today. Can you hear the knocking? Hold on just a second, and I'm going to talk to her. Just a second. Okay, now we're going to add our sentiment, and like I said, this is from the Happiness Abounds bundle. So this is the stamp set. So I think some of these leaves would go really well with that floral paper, even some of the flowers. And then you've got a lot of sentiments in here that you can use because that stamp set that you get for free with it does not have any sentiments. So that's a great option. And I'm going to put my foam mat underneath. You'll want to do that if you're using some of our clear photopolymer stamps. It kind of acts like the red rubber does and gives it a little cushion to help you get a good image. Oops. All right. Well, it's not perfect, but it's already on the card, so it's not that bad. It's handmade, right? Excuse me just a second again. Okay, we're also going to use one of our Stampin' Blends. I have my dark Starry Sky here and some rhinestones. And our Stampin' Blends can be used for a lot of different things. One of them is to color embellishments. So you want to use the brush end of your Stampin' Blend for this. And if you do this a lot, it is going to break up the end of your brush. So you just want to be real gentle You don't need to really push it all, and just color around the embellishment. You can do this on our pearls, on the rhinestones. You could probably do it on some of those iridescent things too. Anything that is not, that doesn't have a lot of color on it already. So that's kind of a fun thing. If we don't have an embellishment in the color you want, you can paper. I cut the square to 3 by 3, and then the mat is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So it's great for card front, and then any sentiment you want, any ribbon. You could really repeat this in a lot of different ways. Easy and a good way to show off that paper too. Plus you can get 16 pieces out of one sheet, so lots and lots of cards. Okay, on to our last card. Now this one I did a little more stamping on because I used the Hippest Hippo stamp set, which is free with a $50 order during Sale-a-bration. Isn't this adorable? I think this is my favorite one. So you saw me post that the pool party and soft seafoam cards and envelopes were the first product to sell out, and that shocked me because if anything was going to sell out, I thought for sure it would be this stamp set or the Hippo dies. These are two separate products. Each is free with a $50 order, but look how cute these are. Okay, I was shocked that that was the first item to sell out, but guess we'll see what happens. If you like these, I would recommend them because that's my pick of what's going next. I could be wrong. I don't really have any insider information, but that's my thought because I think they are so adorable. Okay, so this one I cased from somebody else for the most part. I thought it was super cute, and it used one of my favorite designer series papers, the Hues of Happiness designer series paper. And if you are placing an order to get this card kit and you are trying to figure out what to buy, this paper is part of the suite that includes this bundle. So you could just buy the whole suite and then you'd have lots of coordinating products to use together. Okay, so again, we're using colors out of the paper. This is Night of Navy, Flirty Flamingo, and then this one has a whole bunch of colors in it. So it's really, really pretty. And as you can see, the other side has lots of flowers that kind of go with that stamp set we used on the last one. So we're just going to adhere all of these pieces together, and then we'll get to the fun part, which is coloring that hippo. Just watch, I'll run out of glue too. I've got more adhesives on order, but when you run out, you run out. Okay, and then I've got, you know what? Did I cut myself one more Night of Navy piece? Where did that envelope go? Nope. All right, we're going to skip this piece on this card because I forgot it. That's okay. That's just kind of to ground the hippo, and it will be included in your kit if you get it. All right, so I have a piece of white that we're going to stamp the hippo on. And I'm going to use Memento Black ink. We have a couple of black inks that you can buy. This is the one you'll want if you're going to color with our Stampin' Blends markers, because it is a water-based ink and the markers are alcohol-based. That way they won't bleed together. So there's our hippo, and while I have the ink out, the circle I cut with our Layering Circles dies. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment while I have the ink out. You're always on point. All right, now this one, I got the line. I'm going to turn it over. Don't press so hard. Okay, so like for this one, we're doing a little bit more stamping. What you will get in your kit is the circle and a piece like this. So if you don't have the hippo and you're not ordering the hippo, you can pick another animal out of your collection of stamps and another sentiment that will fit in here, and you'll be just fine. You will get these die cut pieces. So like I said, I try and keep this class simple so you can duplicate the cards at home, even if you don't have everything that I'm showing. Okay, let's do a little coloring on this hippo. If you are ordering the hippo stamp set, I highly recommend some of our Stampin' Blends markers. And I've tried a couple different colors on the hippo. I think smoky slate or gray granite work really well. We also have basic gray, which would be a little darker. Today I'm going to use smoky slate, and I realized that my light smoky slate is running out. So that's how my hippo got a little darker, because I ended up using more of the dark than I thought. Now, I'm not sure, I haven't looked up pictures of hippos. If this part is darker, if their belly is darker, if you think somebody's really going to care about which part of the hippo is darker, you can Google it and see. I'm not really sure. Part of it is artistic expression, right? And I've seen projects where people have done it both ways. So however you want to color your hippo is fine. I am really not a big artist when it comes to coloring. I just follow what other people do, or do whatever I feel like and whatever looks good. So I'm mostly just coloring in his body with the dark, and part of that is because my light is almost running out. And I'll just do a little bit of shading here. Now the nice part about our alcohol markers is that they blend together, so most of the time you won't get those marker lines that you get with regular markers. So that's kind of fun. It makes you feel more like an artist. And normally I would use the brush end to finish coloring this in. I feel like the brush end blends a little bit better unless I am using or coloring in a really small space. But it seems like this end of my marker has more ink left in it, so that is why I'm using it. And if you come back and blend before it has fully dried, that is what helps you especially not get those lines, because the colors kind of go together. So if you purchase the Stampin' Blends, they come in sets of 2. You get a light and a dark, so you can shade. Let's see, we'll just color his belly with the light smoky slate. So you could do more shading. Again, for time and also because my marker's running out, I'm just mostly coloring him all the same. Okay, then I used my light petal pink to just color his little nostrils, inside of his ears. I suppose it's a girl, huh? She's wearing a tutu. Inside of her ears. And her little fingernails. Whoops, what are those? And then I have Flirty Flamingo, which is the coordinating color in my paper. And I'm going to start with the dark and just kind of go along the top of her tutu, like that. And then I'll do her little ballet shoes. And then we will use the light to finish up the tutu. And another tip when you're using the brush end, it does bleed just a little bit, so you want to be careful when you get to the edges. You maybe don't even have to go quite to the edge and the color just kind of goes there itself. Otherwise, it's going to look like you didn't stay in the lines, even though you did. There you go. So there's our hippo. All right, now ahead of time I cut out with the hippo dies these flowers and the little umbrella, but we are going to take out this outline for her and cut her out. And I have my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now normally I would use the big one. The little one fits on the screen better for videos, and I also wanted to show it because I think it's great for traveling, or like if you're going to a crop or something and you want something smaller. This is really lightweight, especially compared to our bigger one. It does not fit all of our dies. It's only 3 inches wide as opposed to the other one, which is 6 inches wide. And it's not quite as smooth, but it works, and I took it on my vacation. and it was nice to have something to die cut and not have to take the big machine. Now this one, I will say you have to stagger the plates a little bit more. You can see how those are staggered. I'm going to line her up. Usually I put a little bit of tape, but I did not bring that in here either. So we'll line her up the best we can. And then this top plate you want to be the first one to go in the machine. And let's see if I can, there we go. Sorry about the banging. Okay, so then I'm going to feed her in there. And usually if you stagger the plates like that with the top one going first, it'll go through pretty easily. And then, this is true about our big machine too, but it folds up so it doesn't take up a lot of space and it's super light. So if you are looking for something that you can take on the go, I highly recommend the smaller machine. Okay, let's finish up so she won't be so mad at me. That's my 4-year-old. She is apparently tired of me doing this video. Okay, so like I said, I forgot the navy for this one, but we'll just put her on. And I put everything flat on this card. You could pop her up, I suppose, if you wanted a little dimension, but I just did everything flat on here. And then our sentiment. And I just kind of tucked this underneath her just a little bit. Like that. And look at the detail on this umbrella. Oops, I'm not in the screen, am I? There we go. It has the score lines for the umbrella. I love these dies. They are just so fun, and you can make lots of different pictures and things with the hippo, because there's so many little accessory dies, which is fun. Here is her umbrella, and then we've got our flowers. So we'll put a dot of glue on each one of those. Add those in. So fun. I think in the die set, I don't know how many dies, I haven't counted, but there's quite a few. You have a little boat for her to sit in. You have a little splash of water, sunglasses, a party hat, so many dies. And I should have spaced that better. If you move her over a little bit, there's a little more room for the umbrella. So there's that. And then in the center of that one, I just used some of our pearls. And again, these you can color with our Stampin' Blend too. We don't need to for this card, but it's another one of those that you can color. So there we go. There is that one. All right, let me bring all 4 cards in again and remind you of how you can get them for free. Okay, so here are our 4 cards. So I'll put this information in the video description after I'm done, but all you have to do is place an order with me that is over $40 between now and next Wednesday, which is July 20th. And then I will send you a card kit that includes the supplies to make these 4 cards. You'll provide your own stamps, ink, and adhesives, and you can use what I used, or you can substitute with things you have at your house. I also include a tutorial that has a few written directions and all the measurements, so you can copy and make more cards if you want. And then remember, if you spend over $50, you can choose a free Sale-a-bration item, or there are a few that are free with a $100 purchase too, like this one that we used today. So you can decide how many you want to get, and I would get the ones that are your top favorites now so that you get them before any more sell out, because it's very unpredictable what's coming next, as we discovered this week. Thank you for joining me for some afternoon crafting. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like the cards. And check that description for the ordering information. Have a great day. Bye.